Okay, final question, and it is a big question that we've got to deal with here. So I'm already starting to regret putting this in. Actually, as a question for you guys. Um, Firstly, you've got to just read this and try and take it in. You've just got to try and just wade through it, and already maybe make some notes over here as well. Then we'll have a look at the actual question. Okay, so total cholesterol in the blood contains good and bad cholesterol. High levels of bad cholesterol increase the risk of heart disease. High levels of good cholesterol reduce the risk of heart disease. So far, so good. Scientists have suggested that chemicals called polyphenols in dark chocolate may help people with type 2 diabetes. Polyphenols may reduce high levels of bad cholesterol in the blood. The scientists investigated the effect of polyphenols on levels of cholesterol in the blood. 7 men and 5 women with type 2 diabetes had the levels of cholesterol in their blood measured. They all ate 45 grams of dark chocolate every day for 16 weeks. 6 of the people ate dark chocolate that contained polyphenols. The other 6 people ate dark chocolate that did not contain polyphenols. All 12 people were allowed to eat and drink anything else they wanted, but no more chocolate. The levels of cholesterol in their blood were measured again after 16 weeks. Okay, so that's what they did in the study. The results. They showed that the people who ate dark chocolate with polyphenols, that there was a decrease in the total cholesterol and of bad cholesterol, that there was an increase in good cholesterol. A newspaper headline reported the research and wrote the following headline: Research shows that diabetics should eat dark chocolate. So, in this question, you'll be assessed on using good English, organising information clearly, and using specialist terms where appropriate. Question: was the newspaper statement justified? Include in your answer evidence that supports the newspaper statement and evidence that does not support the newspaper statement, and give a conclusion. So straight away, what I would do is, what sort of evidence is there supporting? Okay, so look up there, and what sort of evidence is there against? I've got no problem writing on the side of the exam paper like this, or even a scrap of paper in the exam if you wanted to. So what's good about this study? What have they done that's quite nice? Well, they've included a control group, so I'm happy with that. And I just put GP for that. And the control group, they also got a placebo. Okay, so they're given chocolate which does not contain polyphenols. All participants ate the same amount of chocolate. Okay, so they're keeping that little variable the same if at all possible. Okay, so that's another good fact about the study that we're actually following there. Looking at the results, they showed a decrease in total cholesterol. They showed a decrease in bad cholesterol. They showed an increase in good cholesterol. Okay, so these are all things that are in favour of the statement that the paper has made. So those 3 points are supporting what the newspaper has said. Okay, so now I look down, breaking this question right down. What is against what they've said? So straight away, there's no results given for what happened to the people who ate the chocolate that did not contain polyphenol. Okay, so that's not reported. So that's pretty bad. So no results for chocolate without polyphenols. They only tested type 2. No mention of type 1. Very small sample size. Okay. 12 is just not good enough at all. They've got an unequal number of males and females. and that can't be a good thing. There's no mention of these patients or these people being matched for age. There's no mention of any other health issues that might be affecting this. So what we say there, so I'll say just focus on the age not controlled. You know, in one group you could have people in their 20s, and the other group you could have people in their 50s. Is that fair? No mention of is the rest of the diet controlled anyway. You know, somebody could be following a very healthy diet, and the other group could be following quite an unhealthy diet. So, apart from the chocolate, the diet was not controlled. We could talk about weight gain from eating the chocolate. I mean, if they're not eating any chocolate, we could add that in there. And it's certainly not a long-term study. Apologies, that writing. Okay, so we only did this over 16 weeks, so that's not really good enough at all. So in my answer, what I would try to do now, using the correct English as well as I possibly can, and structuring it quite nicely, I would over here say, this is the evidence that supports, and I would try and put this into some nice sentences and lay that out. I would say, this is the evidence against the statement that the newspaper said, and to actually nail the question completely, trying to fit it in at the bottom, I would have a conclusion, and I would say, overall, the statement is not justified. Okay, I don't think they were fair to come up with that title, because there's so many things going against this study, and you could restate some of these again if you needed to really justify your conclusion. Okay, we can't agree with that because of all the reasons that were listed here. Okay, so these questions are tricky. I think the key to them is breaking them down. You know, really look at the question. Okay, what supports the statement? Evidence that does not support the statement, and always finish then with a conclusion. Okay, and that's how you're going to get your 6 marks, your tough 6 mark questions. Apologies for the state of my writing there. Looking back at that now, not happy with that. But thank you very much. You need to add up all of those. It was 34 marks in total, I believe. And if you can just mark that on the paper and see how we got.